Hey everybody, it's Mr. Fudge, your balloon man here at YT Events, and we are here with Jeff Shell, the mind behind Mind Miner, the amazing and awesome platform to help get you paid for your ideas. So Jeff, can you tell me real quick just a little bit about Mind Miner and what that is? And then we have some stuff that we're working on today, but yeah, go ahead and tell everybody what you're working on.
Well, you stole my punchline, Fudge. Yes, I do want to help everyone get paid for their ideas, but it's more than that. It's really about creating incentives to innovation and making sure that everyone in the world with an idea, who really is everyone, doesn't face a barrier of spending money to hire a patent lawyer, or just the barrier of necessarily starting a business around their idea when there might be an easier way, or their idea might just be incomplete and better leveraged by someone else. So MindMiner is a platform to incentivize crowdsourcing of innovation, help every individual with an idea contribute that idea to someone that can do something for it, but then have a little bit of skin in the game to be able to do that.
That's awesome. And so you actually propped this up. I think the best way to do this is to do a screen share. That is going to put, actually, let me change this real quick. We're going to change. Are you seeing the Mind Miner page?
I see it.
Okay, awesome. So I tried to share a screen, but then I realized it's probably not best to share the screen. It's probably best to share the tab so I can look at the camera instead of off to the side. But so this is what you put together for me. Can you tell me what you've done here?
Sure. So on MindMiner, there are idea contests and also challenges. And I'll sort of foreshadow, I'm not going to get into the challenge just yet.
Okay.
You can click on it if you want. I guess it's unfair for me to tease it without giving you the opportunity to click on it. But essentially what I'm doing is I'm creating a blocks challenge. Hey, you're the sort of the central figure in the profile.
That's good. I'll take all the publicity I can get. That's great. And then you're over here too. So that's nice.
So the idea behind challenges in general is to incentivize groups of people to come together and create ideas to actually solve big problems. So building the blocks is a challenge that I created specifically for all of the companies that were a part of the blocks. And what we're going to do is we're going to compete against each other and try to come up with the best ideas to help each one of our companies grow and become just a little bit better. So, your contest is certainly one of them. I want to help YTE crowdsource ideas to improve your products and services. And I want to help everyone that helps you do that have a chance to earn idea coins. And whether or not they patent it or give you the ideas, most of the ideas that I intend for MindMiner to cultivate are open source, meaning anyone who contributes those ideas is essentially just giving them away in exchange for idea coins. But some of the ideas are intended to be patent pending and proprietary so that they can be bought and sold as NFTs. And once that happens, some of the sales, the proceeds of those NFTs go to a pool. And that pool rewards whoever has idea coins in their crypto wallet with Ethereum royalties. So that's how it's set up. There's definitely an open source element and there's a proprietary element. But the purpose behind this contest in particular is to help you crowdsource ideas to make better products and services for your consumers from primarily the blocks community for this one.
That's awesome. So first of all, I love this. This is great. So I just love the ability to zoom in and out on stuff, and I'm assuming if I click on one, it'll take me to related things too.
What's really cool is like that's a really concise way to kind of like think about ideas and innovation contextually. So your problems might have overlap with climate change, or they might have overlap with pollution. Sorry to pick two negative ones. They might have overlap with children. Might be a more positive.
Well, I mean, no, so I just had a open source idea go out for balloons. Let me see if I can show you this through my Facebook, because I had someone post in one of my groups this picture. They said, we use ribbon spools in the balloon community so often. I'm trying to find a way to use these so I'm not trashing them all the time because we're a green company and I want to make sure that we have a positive use for these.
Yeah, so I know there's a group on My Mentor for events. There's also a pollution group and even a climate change group. So you can imagine how like one solution would overlap with each one of those groups. And then as a user, what you do is you follow groups when you sign up. I know you haven't logged in with an account yet, but once you do that, what happens is you can tag your profile with different groups, and then it'll provide a feed for you. If you click on my feed right now, you don't have any interests or groups that you're following.
Okay.
But as the problems are contextualized like that, you'll be able to see problems that you can solve, which are opportunities for you to earn idea coins, which ultimately manifest in you getting Ethereum royalties. So it's a pretty powerful platform that it is intended to be, sort of a self-enclosed, incentivized mechanism for people to create ideas and contribute ideas to the betterment of humanity.
Okay, so that's cool. So that's great. So super awesome to see that. Now, what you put here is essentially you've created something on my behalf. Is that how that works?
Yeah, so there's a contest. Ideally, once this gets actually live, right now it's alpha, beta, early stage sort of proof of concept platform. But ultimately, we'll let companies create contests for their own companies, basically interact with their consumers to source ideas to make their products and services better from their consumers.
Did I already sign in, or is it let me sign in?
Yeah, some imperfections certainly that we're working through, but
okay, no, yeah, I just didn't refresh correctly, so I've got to get back to that.
If you refresh, you're probably going to sign in.
Okay, so if I'm adding a solution, different kids like different kinds of parties.
It's a problem. Yep.
So the solution of party packages might help focus the options to something more manageable.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah. So here you have the choice, right? You can make that idea public so anyone can use it. It basically becomes an open source idea. And then when they use it, you'll basically multiply the number of idea coins you earn. So you'll earn some idea coins just from making it public. You'll earn some idea coins. But then when someone else incorporates that solution as a component to their own invention to build out an NFT, you'll earn more idea coins. Or if you want to patent this yourself, and I'm about to sneeze, excuse me. Okay, I think I'm good. Banana. All right, I think I'm good. Sorry. So if you want to keep this private and keep it proprietary to you or your business, or make your own NFT, you can do that, and this won't become public. Now you won't earn any idea coins, but this is how you can sort of create your own idea bank to sort of like promote and add to and combine your own ideas privately before you share them with the crowd. And if you want to buy a patent application, well, actually you can create a patent application for free using this, which I think is really cool. Okay. But if you want to buy an NFT, it's $25 to buy an NFT. And then you can sell the idea as an NFT.
Okay, so so this is probably falls into public knowledge anyway, so I'm not too worried about that.
But most ideas do, but that still is powerful. So when you do that, you assign your rights to the MindMiner community. So it's basically making this open source, so anyone in the community can use the idea. Okay.
Then I would hit next.
So now you're going to tag it. It's already inherited the tags that were allocated to your problem. You can add some more tags though. So probably children would be an appropriate one.
Okay.
There's sort of only a subset of tags right now that are added. We're working on building in a mechanism where we basically can source tags and approve tags. But we wanted to keep a subset because we just wanted to keep junk out, right? Like a lot of people don't think through like you could have duplicate tags or or just tags that aren't great. So right now it's really limited to companies, geographies, and subject matter tags, and university schools. That's how the tags work. But those tags then are context, so that when you have your feed and you're following children or you're following event spaces on your profile, your feed will display problems and solutions related to that context that you've indicated an interest in.
Awesome. So, and then, yeah, I understand like a tag, some platforms, if you capitalize or lowercase the C in children, it would be different tags. And so they're
Right.
some modeling there.
I'm trying to be a little bit careful about that in terms of how we approve tags. And there's different ways that we're looking at voting. Certainly is something that we might incorporate, as voting is sort of a central feature to what we're doing here.
So describe your solution of party packages might help focus more options to something more manageable. So this is where I would say simplifying the party planning process for kinds of parties, or whatever the case may be, right? Like
that's perfectly appropriate here. So 2 points I want to make on this screen. So first of all, there are some incredible artificial intelligence tools that are essentially transforming text and generating images based on what you write.
Okay.
So one of the things that we're going within the next few weeks, I'm super excited about, since you've already typed in a party package that might help focus the options, we're going to push this to an API and essentially generate an image based on what you typed in, which is crazy. But it's so cool. And I think in this context, it's really powerful, because then we can let people that are creating solutions say, hey, this is an image of what it looks like, what it seems to be, what you're describing. Is this right? If yes, then you accept it. If no, then you can upload or draw an image as you have here. But you can skip this for now. You can try drawing an image if you want to, but this is kind of abstract. So frankly, this is the kind of solution that I would just skip the image for now. But if you have one, great, upload it. Perfect.
So yeah, so now I've got a party packages image, and then obviously it's got to figure out all this stuff too. So earn up to 1 idea coin. You can claim the coins when some appropriate solution. Right, perfect. So add it to an invention next.
Yeah. So even with an open source solution, you can sort of create a combination of even open source solutions in a novel way. You can create a patent application, and the question of whether or not it's novel and not obvious, that those sort of patent requirements apply. We don't guarantee that you're going to get a patent, right? Like anyone can file a patent application, just like anyone can file a lawsuit. There's no guarantee that you'll get a patent. But with MindMiner, what we've done is built something that's so low cost that just having the potential to get a patent in the future it changes the economics to the point where it's like, okay, maybe I'll take a risk on this by, spending $25 to get an NFT file plus the filing fee for a provisional patent application, which is $150. That's what the patent office now does. But like the economics change to where when you have ideas that you've thought out, which are groupings of solutions into an invention, then you might take a risk and file a patent application just to have patent pending on that idea inexpensively.
That's really cool.
Or buy and sell the idea as an NFT.
Awesome. So I like that. And so that closes. And now you've earned idea points. So this is just explaining stuff while we're starting, right?
Yeah, it's just a walkthrough. I know the UX is kind of basic, so we're going to work with some UX designers to make the UI a little bit nicer to look at. But at least this is informative, right? So this gives you a sense of what your wallet looks like. That'll be on the title bar when you close out of this screen, and you'll see what points you've earned, idea points. If you have any idea points that you are able to withdraw as idea coins to your crypto wallet, it will show that those are ready to claim, and you can earn a MindMiner credit. So like I said, it's $25 to mint an NFT. With that $25, you're really buying a MindMiner credit, and you have to spend the credit to earn an NFT, or mint an NFT. You can actually earn that credit by contributing ideas to the ecosystem. So,
oh, that's cool. So let me close this, and I'm going to reiterate what I think you just said. So
yeah.
I filled this out, and this gives me a bunch of different options for different things, right?
Yeah.
So I can look through this and read this, and I can get back to the solution at some point. But if I go to, say, my feed, and I see something that's in my feed.
Yeah, so those are all related to stuff that you created. And when you go to your profile, you can actually add more tags to your feed. So right now you got Tampa, Florida, and YTE, but by clicking the edit button and then adding some interests, which I think are tags, there you go, tags related to you.
Okay.
So you can click on, tags that you might want to follow, and then those will show up in your feed. So you can see more opportunities to create solutions and actually, earn some more idea coins, basically, or create more patents around things that you're interested in.
All right, so that's great. So I'm seeing I'm able to add all that stuff in and save as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. And then when I go to my feed, then more of that stuff theoretically should show up as it pops.
So starting from the time you add it, so you won't see anything yet, but as you move forward, as anyone adds more solutions or items contextually related to the things that you tagged on your profile, you'll be able to see those and either be able to solve problems or improve existing solutions and products with new ideas.
So if we're talking about water scarcity and I had some type of impactful thing to add to it, I could add to this as well. Theoretically, I could go to all the problems and solutions that they're looking for. I can add as many solve things as I can to all of them. And then that theoretically will.
The more you solve, the more opportunity you have to earn idea coins.
Yeah.
And because of the way it works, the more idea coins you have in your wallet, the more royalties that you'll get. So there's certainly an incentive baked in for you to create solutions to humanity's problems here, or to problems that are contextually related to you or businesses that you follow. But really, I mean, that's just kind of like the selfishness incentive that I'm trying to build in. Really, what this is about is figuring out how to solve cancer, right? Figuring out how to cure cancer, solve climate change, do the things that we need to do as society to like actually leverage the ideas that everyone has and combine them together to make them more powerful. There's a book, actually, I think I've got it here, maybe not. It's called The Wisdom of Crowds. I don't think I have it on me right now. Yeah. It's a book by James Suronicki, and it's a really powerful book. The underlying idea is that if you put the world's foremost expert in a room with a problem, and you put 100 average people in a different room with the same problem, 9 times out of 10, the 100 average people are going to come up with a better solution than the one person that's the world's greatest expert in that subject matter area. So what I want to do is take it from 100 people to 1 million people and see if we can solve climate change.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was just talking today with one of my staff about how our various knowledge of what we have learned in our journeys help us understand the world in a different way. So I've learned how to do something called spinner text writing, which is a very unique skill set that requires you to be a good English speaker, understanding grammar, understanding algebra, understanding programming, and then understanding the applications of that. And so essentially I write a paragraph 3 times, and then I have a computer figure out how to turn that into, instead of 1 paragraph, from 3. Computer, stop. Apparently I'm getting the robots to talk to me now. But instead of writing 3 paragraphs, it actually makes 1 paragraph, and then it turns into 40 different or 50 different paragraphs. So the idea is great when you're trying to write massive amounts of similar content, but you don't want it to be duplicate content.
Right.
So it's got some very unique applications that I use, for instance, in my search engine optimization stuff and in some of my creative writing stuff. So
What so I mentioned AI and how we're building in the text to image AI
yeah,
into Miner, so we can suggest images based on the text you entered. Um, we're also adding in some grammar correction AI. So right now you can build out a patent application, just download it, but there's some grammatical issues. Now, whether or not it impacts the validity of the patent application if you were to file it as is kind of debatable, because the provisional patent application has a lot of, I guess, flexibility in terms of its legal interpretation. So one of the great advantages of provisional, for instance, is you don't need to have patent quality drawings in a provisional application. You can have photos or other things that describe the invention without having a patent drafter, which is something that MyMiner takes advantage of. But the AI around grammar checking and grammar correction is really powerful. So taking this sort of ad-lib together patent application where you've got ideas from different sources that ultimately become the predicates of sentences in the patent applications. But like correcting the grammar to make it more readable is going to be really powerful in this context. And I think that's related to what you were just saying in terms of using AI to text.
yeah, that's awesome. And that's one of the things as a spinner text writer, you've got to keep in mind, because when you change it from he to she, you change it to it to they, like it changes everything later in the sentences. Or if you change the format of the sentence, so he went to the store, or to the store he went, you know, like they have different functions.
Connotations, yeah, sure.
Yeah. So like, yeah, so there's different things to play around with. But yeah, so like she was just saying, like, it's amazing how those little things can change stuff. But absolutely positively love your system. I want to get in there and I want to start doing ideas, because I'm the idea guy. Like I love that.
I love it so much. And like, you know, it's I part of why I started this is I just like, it pained me when people came in with good ideas to my, you know, to have a patent consult, and they just like couldn't afford it. It just didn't make economic sense for them to hire a patent lawyer and start trying to build on those ideas. I hated that. So like that's really an underlying theme. I want to make it so easy and inexpensive for people to contribute ideas, whether or not they want to make them public, and just contribute their innovation, their brains, to really crowdsource solutions to humanity's greatest problems. That's what this thing's about. And I think it's the earliest stages, but the way the incentive structure is set up, there's only a fixed pool of idea coins. So what that means is the earliest idea coins are going to earn the most royalties later on, because they're going to be, you know, there's a decreasing number of idea coins that becomes available for every subsequent idea. And likewise, what theoretically will happen is as the pool of royalties grows, and it will take some time for people to really you know, generate NFTs and sell their ideas as NFTs. But every NFT sold generates a royalty. And when that royalty goes to the pool and that pool hits a threshold, everyone that has idea coins in their wallet is going to get a level of idea coins proportionate to what they have in their wallet compared to what the number of idea coins that have been issued. So it's the kind of thing where if you get in early and the thing takes off, which I'm going to do everything I possibly can, because my motivations are pure behind this, despite the sort of leveraging of human self-interest.
Yeah.
Like once it takes off and once that royalty pool goes, who knows? The idea coins might be worth a hell of a lot of money. So you know, I hope that that's very true for you, Mr. Fudge.
So my question is, so I have a couple questions, because I'm, like I said, I'm interested in trying to figure this out. So on my main screen, or whatever the case may be, if I hit plus and I hit problem and I start and I say there's a problem of a how would I say this? Building organic decor with a recipe so that my staff or contacts worldwide get a consistent product,
Cool.
right? And then parent problem is probably going to be YTE, right? Nope, it's going to be.
No, you don't have to have a parent problem here. This looks like, this doesn't look like it has a parent problem, frankly. So I
Okay.
would at this point.
Okay, so I go next, and then choose a tag. So this would be, this is where YTE comes in. This is
Sure.
where maybe children come in. This is maybe where event spaces come in. Company's probably up. So YTE.
Yeah.
Which Balloon
So
Decor.
you've got some products. You only can pick one product here.
Okay. So it would be Balloon Decor.
Innovation is not an exact science, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
I think you kind of bridge some gaps here, but that's
So I would say, is this problem most associated with only because of,
yeah, it's a good point of feedback.
so not super important, but just
I like that. That's good.
so only because there's one. Otherwise, I'll be like, wait, why is it not working? Like, is the thing broken or am I only supposed to pick one? But when it says most associated with, it's obvious. Then I hit next, describe your problem. Currently, organic balloon decor is all sizes and shapes, and there is not a great recipe to make consistent, good looking organic installations via our recipe source. We are looking to be consistent and high quality. Not a great word choice, but then I can add a photo and I can do something like this.
Mhm.
And then organic classic decor is fine and hit finish. Okay, so, and then can I edit this later?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can close. So if I want to change this photo because that was a bad picture, and then it's saying I can share and solve even my own problem. Is that how that works?
Do not show that message again, but that's okay.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Well, I'm gonna read it when I have time and I'm not on the phone with you, and then I'll click that. So now this is here. So if I now, how do I see that again?
Well, probably it's going to be on the problems feed. So if you
Okay.
click the problems feed, and
Okay.
then probably need to sort it by most recent problems, data creation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, awesome. So that's good. And then I would,
Oh, it's a problem, so it's public.
what's
So
that?
problems are always public, right? You're just describing a problem for people to solve. So problems are always public. So that'll be a public problem.
So like whenever I have something and I'm like, how do I fix my garage door handle that broke off or whatever, or something like that? That would be a public problem.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and then
then the solution, right, which may or may not be proprietary, like some of it's going to be open source, right? Some of it's just going to be the goodwill that someone might have to, and maybe they want to earn some idea coins from it.
So someone could say, here's a 3D STL file that you can print out that'll fix your door handle. Or someone else can say, here's a
yeah, I mean,
shove in there.
There's not really a mechanism to upload anything other than photos, right?
Okay.
But like they could describe as a solution a handle, and then that could be, you could describe you could create like a link, for example, in the description if you wanted to like share something, right?
So my head is going in a couple directions. So obviously I'm not trying to offend anybody or to bastardize your product in any way. But
Yeah.
One side is this idea of NFT based patenting, and it's freaking phenomenal. Like, it's amazing just as it is. However, the everyday use case that I see, like I want to jump on there now and start typing up 100 different things, is I have a problem with all my socks matching. So the solution might be throw away all your socks and get all the same color, right? Like I see stuff like that that is not necessarily something we would patent, but it's just such a great idea and it's so helpful to like solving a problem. But I could see how it can dilute some of the stuff that's more useful in your site too. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah. The solution we've tried to incorporate to address that specific problem, that usability problem with MyMiner, is voting. So you recall when you
Mm,
problems feed, you had to sort by data creation.
yeah.
So we're trying to build in like a Reddit-like voting mechanism to make the best problems and solutions come to the top, and the best contests and just best items appear at the top. So those that maybe would dilute the value of everything that we're trying to do get pushed down or downvoted.
Okay. And then I'm sure there's going to be some type of report system when it goes live too. So you can temporarily hide something until it's administered.
Sure. I do have the power right now, me as the founder slash admin slash moderator,
Yeah.
to go and take out problems that are just gibberish, for example, which I'm sure will happen. And as it grows and as we scale, I'll probably have to moderate to some extent the content that's being added.
So, and that's all great, and I'm sure you'll find solutions for all that. If not, I know this great website where you can look for solutions. But but when it all comes to that kind of stuff, does the idea of like the building organic decor with a recipe, like that's something that I could use, right? It helps me, but I don't necessarily know that it's something that is patent worthy. It might be, but like, is that still something within the realm of what you're looking for doing?
But I feel like every single person, when they had, an early stage concept, and they set up a consultation with me, they'd come in and they'd ask the same question: is this patentable? And my answer at that point is, how the fuck should I know? Right? Because before you do a patent search, right? Which, yeah, you should do a patent search, and yeah, you should take more steps than filing a patent application. But what people don't realize is that the provisional patent application process, in part, was established by the USPTO to help inventors get a low-cost placeholder patent application on file so that they could buy themselves some time while they were going through the patentability search and trying to assess whether or not something's novel and not obvious. MyMiner is not going to answer any of those questions, but at least you have a chance to hold your foot in the door and hold your place in line while you go answer those questions. And at least it's not going to cost you several $1,000s like a patent attorney would to get that place in line.
So please excuse my ignorance, but you can patent designs of things, right? Like functions of items. Can you patent?
So you
What
can't
type?
design.
Yeah. So to clarify, since you probably know the answer already. What things can you patent? What things are not patentable, like in general?
Well, okay. So I'll answer that question in a second. Let me first clarify the last question. So you said something like you can patent designs or the way things work, I think was the question you asked.
Yeah.
That actually relates to two separate categories of patent applications you can file. You can file a design patent application and get a design patent. And it's different than a utility patent, which is what MyMiner relates to. But a design patent basically covers the ornamental features of a thing, which essentially means it protects the way something looks, not the way it works, the way it looks. So that's what a design patent is all about. I'm not going to get into that in detail. MyMiner doesn't relate to design patents. It relates to utility patents. And specifically, it relates to the earliest form of a utility patent, which is a provisional patent application. So a provisional patent application is this placeholder patent application that I referred to. It essentially buys you 12 months. Everything comes down to when you file your patent application. We're in a first to file system in the US, in the world, basically. So that means it doesn't matter as much whether you invented before someone else. What matters is, did you file a patent application before someone else either filed a patent application or use the thing that you're trying to protect? So part of what MyMiner intends to be is a low-cost mechanism to help you get that filing date established as early and as inexpensively as possible. So, one of the, I guess, sort of prevailing trends, I guess, in patent law is patent attorneys, before they even do the patentability search and can answer the question, is this patentable, or help you answer that question at least, they're filing provisional patent applications anyway. So you're going in, you're spending a few $1,000s at least to get a patent application drafted and filed before you even know whether or not it's patentable. That's like a common practice in patent law. So that's what MindMiner is leveraging. We're trying to replace that earliest phase and create a super low cost way to hold your place in line so that you can do the patentability search and answer the question of, is something patentable or not? And the answer to that is basically, is it novel? Meaning, is it new? Did someone invent something similar to this and describe it in some piece of writing or on the internet? Or have they sold it? So that's the first question you ask. It's 35 USC 102, novelty as a reference. And the second question you ask is this obvious? If it's obvious to someone, then meaning you combine two elements. The legal test is there some teaching suggestion or motivation for someone skilled in the art to combine elements to arrive at the invention that you've created, right? So that's a legal test. But basically, it's like, are there two things that are similar enough that if you put them together, get to your invention? If there are, then two or more things, then it's probably obvious. If there's some inherent novelty and non-obviousness in the combination, then it's more likely to be patentable under 35 USC 103. So those are the two key tests. There's another test, it's 35 USC 101, is this eligible subject matter? As long as we're not talking abstract ideas, the general rule is that anything made by man is patentable. There's a series of exceptions to that, which, yeah.
So the whole reason I asked that is because every single day, every one of us goes through life and at some point says, man, there's a problem with something I'm doing. I wish I had a solution.
Well, I mean, that certainly validates the TAM for what I'm putting together.
Yeah.
You're right. And every single day right now, there's not a very good context if they have a solution for that to act on it, right? Because every single day, not everyone's going to go through and hire a patent attorney. And certainly they have no incentive, right? Except they have no incentive to do anything with it. So what blockchain related technologies like cryptocurrency and NFTs have really unlocked for this use case is the creation of this new form of an incentive structure for people to advance human innovation, for ideas that are small and seemingly insignificant, or really big ideas, or a part of either one of those categories, right? But what we're doing with MindMiner is creating this incentive structure so that people can contribute ideas to advance humanity, no matter how big or small it is. And that's why I think this use case for crypto and blockchain related technologies is first of all novel, right? I think this is a new paradigm for how people are thinking about what crypto is. One of the problems with crypto, there's so many memes and there's so many things that are just fake and people trying to take advantage of other people in blockchain use cases. One of the really cool things about patents in general is that you're creating an asset out of thin air, right? When you file a patent application, all of a sudden there's an intangible asset on the books of your business or in your net worth if you're a person. But there's an asset there that before you filed that patent application did not exist. So what that means is that there's this infinite pool of value that if you can assetize and create liquidity for in the form of NFTs and in the form of crypto, it reinvents what crypto is all about. There all of a sudden becomes a real, repeatable, infinite value that potentially could be created underpinning what a cryptocurrency is, or underpinning what an NFT is, beyond just the mere notion of collectability or scarcity. So that's the underlying vision and incentive structure that we built into MindMiner.
Yeah, actually, I like that a lot. So yeah, part of me, so I've met you, right? So spent some time together. We talked about this. So part of me wants to, actually all of me wants to support you in this thing. And I love the thing. We've already discussed that. But there's a section of me that says, well, is this good enough to put on the site? Is this something that I need to not put on the site? Like, I don't know that it's clear to me, someone who's trying to only do good for you and the site. Like, where do I draw a line? Like, obviously there's spam, like obvious spam, like that's, if it's obvious, it's obvious, but like, I'm looking for a spray bottle that helps me
Any
mystify.
good faith attempt to create a good faith idea, whether or not it's new, right? Like, it doesn't have to be new, right? People can look at an idea in a different context and reapply it in a different way in a new context. And that's a really cool thing about how we've tagged problems and solutions and created things like feeds. But yeah, I mean, spam, like things that like deliberately impede the enjoyment of use by others of the site, like that's really the only limitation. Other than that, it's completely free to use. Obviously, if you're minting an NFT, you got to pay for that. But like, it's not like you're prohibited in any way from coming and you know, creating solutions and trying to earn crypto for that. In fact, that's heavily encouraged. Like, that's what I want to do with this. I want to create a mechanism where it's essentially a GitHub for ideas, where people can just come in and just create as many ideas as possible for other people to use and deploy and improve. You know, one thing I want you to do, if you don't mind, do you mind sharing your screen again? I want to share one other thing that I think is really, really powerful about this, and this is the last thing I'll ask you to
Good. I just want to make sure I share the correct thing so that I'm not.
I'll get you there.
Are you seeing MindMiner or my calendar?
I'm seeing my miner, so we're good. So you know, you can go to your page, or you can click on products. I want to take you through an improvement process.
Okay.
So yeah, click on your page, YTE. Click on your tag there.
Okay.
And scroll down and find a product. Sorry, you missed a tab. It's one of the tabs.
Products.
There you go. Yeah. Now click on one of those products.
Okay.
Now click on improve.
So I'm looking for improvements.
The green button, big green button that says improve. There you
Improve.
go.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. So this I think is super powerful. So this is a contextual, incremental process of innovation. So what we do, so pick one of those categories. I know it's going to be abstract for now. All right. Then pick one of those categories.
Reduce waste and let's say variability, because that's kind of what I was looking for before.
There you go. All right. So what this is doing is it's asking a question contextually to help you think about a specific solution that you might come up with to incrementally advance your product or idea, right? So what problem of balloon decor leads to regular changes in its uses or function? So if you think about that question and answer that question in the form of a problem, and you can imagine like if people are like crowdsourcing this, where a lot of people are asking these questions and coming up with different problems, it's kind of forcing you to think critically about your products and services in a productive way, right? Like, I don't think, you know, my intent is certainly not to bash anyone's problems or products or companies, but like it's creating a context for you to start to brainstorm ideas to improve your products contextually and making the process of innovation approachable, right? You know, people, as a patent lawyer, it's like people talk to me about how they come up with ideas all the time and they can't really articulate it. But when you throw a process behind it and like make the problem or make the solution creation process contextual and incremental and approachable, and you combine a lot of these little small incremental solutions together, you can really incentivize powerful innovation that helps people make much better products, solutions, services, inventions. So that's where I think there's some real power to the crowdsourcing of ideas here.
Okay, so if there's not a photo, that's fine, right?
Yep, you don't need to have a photo.
And it's
Soon
next
will
solve
be,
or
be
finish.
one very soon that that is automatically suggested with the AI. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, click on solve it. So how can you make it more consistent by solving the problem of lack of availability of helium? So now I can think, see, you're already typing, right? But like, now I can start to think about, okay, so this is a problem that I need help solving that's important enough for me to type in, you know, lack of availability. And so I can imagine how you're filling this, right? So that's a simple solution, right?
Okay,
And
so
what that's gonna do is, so you're probably not gonna want to patent that, right? So you can make that public,
so
right?
just for function of your grammatical stuff, this is a solution of A.
That preposition will be gone as soon as we have the AI.
Okay.
So right now I'm forcing, so ignore that, frankly, because
Okay, that's fine. I was just gonna say either don't put a space after it so I can write an N.
yeah, I know that, I know.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. If you're already solving it in other ways, that's cool. I just
This,
thought I'd
this
bring it up.
is very close on the roadmap. And that's, you know, that's why, you know, first we had to build a proof of concept. And there's little things like that where I was trying to force people to answer questions in a certain way so I could repurpose them into a patent application. Just doesn't work, is what I found out. So that's why we're building in the AI to sort of correct the grammar before we put it into a patent application.
So in this area, would I write multiple things?
That would be, I would not, I would click cut, I would take all that text, I would take that text right there, cut it, don't type in a description, don't add a photo. I'd click next and I'd make that a separate solution, because that's the exact kind of solution that I think would be great, right? I mean, that's the kind of solution where it's like, oh, things are falling down. That's the kind of solution where it's like, okay, now you're starting to get something that might be patentable, right?
Okay.
A stiff membered wire to hold up air is a really awesome idea to fix, you know, this lack of helium, right? So I would go back to the problem that was related to this. That is, if you click on balloon decor, or that'll work too, and click solve on that one, I would paste that right there. And maybe I would keep that one private because maybe I would want to patent that.
Okay.
But maybe you don't. I don't know. And this one might be a good example for you to click draw and just sketch draw right in the form. You know, it's a really basic text edit tool. Yeah. So I use like a skinny, well, you can draw a balloon. I'm sure, I'm confident in your ability. But yeah, I mean, like, it doesn't have to be like, again, with a provisional, exactly. It does not have to be anything crazy with a provisional, right? Like, what you're trying to do is create enough context so that when a lawyer goes and hires a drafter later on, they have something to argue that the articulation of the invention was good enough for someone skilled in the art to take a look at what you created and make or use the invention, right? So that's the enablement requirement. So you need to enable someone skilled in the art to do it. So, you know, if you don't have a patent quality drawing, we can make this work. I mean, this is a provisional patent application as a placeholder. That's what the drawings are for later.
Okay, so that was,
of course, it's always better to have like the high quality stuff, but like sometimes it's not worth it to go pay someone 125 bucks an hour to draft, you know, a figure like this.
and technically I could draw this in any program on my computer or Canva or whatever and upload it.
Yep.
Okay. So, but then just something like that that kind of shows what it is that we're doing.
Yep.
We'll need a heavy base and a way to attach the balloons.
So those are perfect additional solutions. So you can add that there, leave
Okay.
that there, copy and paste that. Just copy it, actually. You can leave it there. Yeah, just copy it, click finish. Yep, and you'll add that solution. And now what you can do is add to invention. So add that solution to an invention. All right, create a new invention. I would, yeah, that's a good problem for it. I'd say, you know, the helium alternative balloon or something like that. Yeah, click next. You've got your tags, click next. So now what you do is create a new solution. And your new solution is make airfield designs. That's certainly part of your solution, right? That's part of the invention. Now add a new solution with a base, right? Like the base that you just talked about. Yeah. And the idea here is to get as many of these solutions combined together into a single invention, because a single invention is what will create the patent application. And the patent application has more value when it has these different solutions. And that's where it's powerful for you to get solutions not only from yourself, but from others as open source solutions to your problems, so that you can add other people's solutions into your patent application with this. And that's where this whole like idea of crowdsourcing ideas and crowdsourcing innovation comes together, because you're literally combining solutions into a single invention and a single patent application. Yeah.
Okay. So that's, and then that falls in.
Here, what I would do is, so I'd finish that. I'd go down to solution components. And you said base heavy, so I'd do the base, I'd click on that, and I'd add some details to it.
Okay, so where did I click? Where did I?
Just click on base to hold up airfield designs there. It's the third one down. There you go.
Okay, yeah. And then what am I doing here?
So I would, as materials, maybe I'd use like metal, heavy metal as a material. You probably have a pretty good sense of what the dimensions for that base would be. So I would add the dimensions of the base. Yeah.
So it's not going to be multiple things. It's one thing, right?
Oh, it could be multiple things. Yeah.
Metal.
Yeah.
Dimensions.
Yeah. And again, this is a provisional. So what you're trying to do is add as much as you can. Sorry, excuse me. Sorry about the sneezing fit. I'm about
No, you're good.
All right. Back. Good. And what I'm going to do actually is I'll further incentivize people to build in descriptions to their solutions by giving them a little bit more in terms of the idea coins. Because I know this is a little bit tedious to go in and create details, especially when you're giving it away. But these details are actually pretty valuable in the context of a patent application description. So, you know, trying to create like relationships. How does this relate to someone else? Trying to articulate that text is going to be really important. I'm again super excited about the ability to use AI grammar checking to help combine things together. We're already generating a patent application that's pretty good. You'll see like the grammatical misfits for here and there based on how people enter the text in different ways. But despite that, it's a pretty damn good provisional patent application that's auto-generated by this like crowdsourcing ideas.
That's cool. Now, I don't know if you've ever filled out a Google review of a location where you can upload a photo, a video, you can write a description and all that stuff. But if you look at the way they assign the points for like the Google contributors, you get, I don't know what they are exactly, but you get like 1 point for putting 1 to 5 stars. Then you get another point for writing anything in the description. Then you get a bonus set of points for writing a description that's longer than X number of words. Then you get bonus points per image you put in. You get bonus points for adding a video. So like they give you points for that. They give you a point for answering questions about a location. They give you a point for correcting data that's incorrect for like a store, like maybe the hours are posted wrong, or fixing a phone number. So like they give you a point or a series of points for each of these items that they do. So it's kind of like exactly what you're saying, but the whole reason I bring that up is if you want to look at that system and see what they do, then that might be a good way to.
I mean, I think that's, so I will look at that system. I wasn't familiar with that, actually. I've filled out Google reviews, but I haven't really paid attention to how they've allocated, you know, credibility behind the reviews that you're creating.
Yeah.
But I think it's at least validating for the concept of like rewarding.
1 second.
That's cool.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Those are the coolest suspenders. Those suspenders, so that's a necklace.
Yeah, this is Mr. Jeff. Say hi, Mr. Jeff.
Hi, Mr. Jeff.
Hi, what's your name?
Emmy.
Emmy, nice to meet you. I bet you're the one that's responsible for all the cool balloon designs, right? Do you give a lot of ideas?
You get some balloons back there?
Yeah.
You come up with all the good ideas?
Yes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
All right, well, I love you. Go hang out with mom. I'll be back in a second. All right, well, that's good. So anywho, awesome, amazing. Sorry for the interruption. Thank you. But yeah, that's really cool. So I am definitely excited to jump on there and play around with some stuff. And
Thanks for doing it, by the way, man. Like, you can see, like, this is early stage, but hopefully, if nothing else, like my motivations behind doing it are clear. You know, I really want to incentivize like crowdsource innovation to solve big problems. So,
I love it. And like I told you before, I have a friend of mine. He's invented so many crazy things. His idea of throwing the football and have it come back to you. Someone made it. You know, the pants that you wear and then the legs pop out and now you have a seat. Someone made it. So like I've seen him design these things and come up with stuff. And I'm like, man, if you would have just had MindMiner when you started, like you would have gotten credit for all that.
at least have credit, certainly, right? Blockchain recorded, you know, time of invention and who invented it to have prior use.
Yeah.
Someone else tries to patent it. And then, yeah, you can actually take it a step further and get a patent application for this inexpensively. You know, it's not intended to take someone from start to finish through the patent process.
Yeah.
What it's intended to do is establish the very first patent filing date with the lowest cost, easiest to put together patent application that someone can possibly come up with. And that's I think what we've done.
That's very awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and hang on for a second after, but thank you so much. This is Jeff with MindMiner. Amazing stuff. I highly suggest if you're watching this video after the fact, go check it out. Go try to figure out some problems. Go try to put in some solutions and start making money for your ideas.